Welcome to my first rant review. Ooh, foot cramp. Okay. Lockhart, we got something to talk about here, because why are people comparing this to We Were Liars? Y'all making me mad. I give We Were Liars a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, that book was amazing. It was the first book I ever cried to because the plot twist was so, and the character development was so chef's kiss that I cared about the characters and different plot twists. But in this one, I'm just confused the whole time. Hi beauties, it's Deja. I'm back after a few months away and I'm mad. Not mad, just a little disappointed in Miss Lockhart due to the fact that I've been beating myself up for not reading this book, for starting it and taking a break, and I'm like, oh, I claim to love her writing, but here I am. And now I finally reached the end and I'm sitting here like, okay, that was a little all over the place, but it's Deja. Welcome back to the Black Bell, in which I ramble about books usually. This video is specifically about Genuine Fraud by Lockhart. And let's be honest here, the thing that drew me into this lovely book is the title, obviously, because oxymoron, but also the author of We Were Liars, which is getting a sequel, by the way. Let's not talk about this. Let's talk about why I gave Genuine Fraud a 3, nearly a 2.5, but a 3 out of 5 stars. So Lockhart likes to write suspenseful thrillers. She likes to leave pieces of the story out, and she loves unreliable narrators, which I found out that I love based off of her first book, which I will mention a lot because people keep comparing it to this book and they shouldn't be. Like, they say if you don't like We Were Liars, read Genuine Fraud, but I honestly don't think they're similar at all. The only thing they have in common is the unreliable narrator, which is nice. That's what gave this book its 0.5. That's why I gave it a 3 instead of a 2.5, because I knew I couldn't trust her the whole time. And so that's kind of why also I was kind of annoyed, because I'm like, let's get to the good part, So I'm going to read like the inside flap part, because she doesn't really give descriptions for her books because she likes the mystery. So I'm just gonna read the inside flap so you can see how I felt going into it, like what I expected going in. Imogen is a runaway heiress, an orphan, a cook, and a cheat. Jewel is a fighter, a social chameleon, and an athlete. An intense friendship, a disappearance, a murder, or maybe 2, a bad romance, or maybe 3, blunt objects, disguises, blood, and chocolate, the American dream, superheroes, spies, and villains. A girl who refuses to give people what they want from her. A girl who refuses to be the person she once was. So that's all we get from the story. So you literally know nothing going in. And I feel like this book did a lot of things right, but a lot of things poorly. This first section is going to be spoiler free, and then later on I'll let you know when you can dip out for the spoilery parts. But okay, so the main character, I know they talk about Imogen and Jewel, but the main character, Jewel, is spunky, athletic. The story is told reverse chronologically. So it starts with chapter 18, goes all the way to chapter 1, and then after chapter 1 is chapter 19. So you kind of see like the story like from like where she is at now, and then the story of what happened the weeks prior to where she is, and then at the very end you see what happens like at the aftermath, kind of like where you started but like the next day, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. Chapter 18 to 1 and then 19. And so that alone, you're gonna have to know how to write, because you're telling the story backwards. So you're gonna have to be able to tell us shit without revealing the secrets you're trying not to do. And I feel like she did that, but it made for a difficult read because we were confused the whole time. I used the collective we, but me, I was confused. So I think I liked the idea behind it, but I didn't like the execution behind it because I was confused. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's who. I don't know what she's running from. I don't know what she wants. And so it was kind of hard for me to connect to the main character, but only because she's like a fraud. She wears many disguises. She's an imposter. So I don't know if that's why, but I liked it. I liked that idea, but I also I feel like there's a certain way to go about it. And I think she did it. In the end, I felt like I knew what was happening, but I didn't feel closure. I felt like there was things missing. I didn't really believe it. I didn't really believe the ending. So maybe that's why too. As for the action inside of the book, like how the action is written, because there are like chase scenes and there's a murder, obviously, like it says, and the details of those scenes are really good. Like I was like listening to the audiobook of this, and so maybe that also didn't help. Maybe if I was reading it myself, I could like put clues together and stuff, but maybe during the audiobook I would like overlook something or like hear it and just be like, oh okay, yeah, that happened, or I'll forget. You know, audiobooks are I love audiobooks, but you could miss things like very easily. So maybe that happened, but I felt like the action scenes where like the murders or the chase scenes or anything like that, like high stakes, I was very much in the moment. So she wrote those really well. Like I could see them playing out in my head, and I was also like, oh, you better get out of there. Like, how are you gonna get out? How are you gonna escape? So that was really good. I felt like the action and like the push when we weren't dormant and when we weren't finding out like too much backstory, I felt like it was moving like at a good pace. There's not much else I can say about it without giving away like a lot. So I guess I would say I would have given it a higher rating if I enjoyed the main characters. I mean, not the main characters, the side characters. Because the main character I did end up enjoying at the end, because just the way she thought, like just her thought process and how she would go about doing things, I was like, wow, you are literally insane. But it works on you, girl. And so I liked her, but then the side characters, I felt like, yeah, the side characters were there, but they weren't there enough. Like I just feel like all of the side characters, I can get them mixed up. And I don't like that when you have not a big cast. I feel like there was like 5 main characters, but like 3 of them, I couldn't really tell you where they came into the story and where they left. So I don't know. I don't like that. I feel like, oh, maybe I should reread this, like physically reread it, because I just have a distaste for this book. Even though I give it a 3 out of 5. Like, a 3 out of 5 is a decent rating. I can give a book that I enjoy a 3 out of 5. So the fact that like I just feel like I wasted my time on this book, even though I feel like a lot of people would enjoy it because of the way that the main character thinks. Like that's the thing that saved this for me. Because other than that, I would be like, I really don't care. Like, I don't think this was a story I needed to read. It didn't do the thing We Were Liars did for me. I think if the characters spoke to me more, I would have been more invested, because I love character-driven stories. So the fact that the action and the main character being crazy is what got it for me. I think it's more of a personal preference thing than an overall, this is just a bad book. So I think I put her up too high. I'm gonna have to adjust my expectations for Family of Liars, the sequel to We Were Liars. And I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna pick up Again by Lockhart. But I think all in all, like if you're a fan of unreliable narrators of crime, the idea of warped friendships or ideations or anything like that, I suggest picking this up. I will say that I kind of knew what was happening the entire time. So even though she was unreliable, I kind of knew the story that she was going to tell, but I didn't know how it was going to play out in the end. And I think that's what made me keep going back. Because I'm like, okay, so you did this happened to you, you did this, you're on the run, and now what? I want to see, does she get away with this? All in all, those are my non-spoilery thoughts as much as I can. And if you decide to pick it up, good on you. If you don't, good on you. But now for the spoilery bits where I get into the details like of the scenes that I really like. I was like, oh, Lockhart. And the ones that I actually like really enjoyed and really just like, okay, well, we didn't need to add this. So peace out to anyone who hasn't read it or people that care about spoilers. Okay, they should be gone. People. That first murder scene with Brooke, I was like, all right, this bitch is crazy. She's insane. And then the way, okay, Jewel pretending to be Imogen most of the time is what got me, bro. I was like, why do you keep lying to these people? And then I was like, oh, she wants to be loved. She wants to be remembered. She wants to be special. And I'm like, damn, is that what insecurity and like the lack of love would do to a child? Because it seems like she's been like this since she was younger. Oh, and also, like, do you guys think, well, okay, don't be stupid, Deasia. I think that the guy that she said like molested or raped that woman or that girl was her. So I think she was the girl And I think she was the girl that beat his ass too. And all I gotta say is I started clapping. And I don't know if that makes me evil or what, but I just felt empowered when she beat the shit out of him. And he didn't die, thank God. If he died, I wouldn't feel anything. But good thing that he didn't die, because I was gonna say because it makes her a murderer, but then she went on to murder 2 girls. And for what? Like, that shit is crazy. No, have you guys heard like the real stories of teenage girls who are best friends and then they end up turning on each other and literally murdering each other? Please, if you don't want to be my friend, tell me. Just walk away. Just walk away. Because that shit don't make sense to me. And so when she murdered Brooke, I was like, okay, it's because Brooke's asking too many questions, obviously. But just the way she did it was malicious and genius. And kind of had me on the edge of my seat, because I was all like, well, if you killed Brooke, what the hell did you do to Imogen? Find out that like she fucking bludgers her with the oar. I was like, oh my God. And like the detail that Lockhart put in there, I don't even know if I can find it, because like I said, I didn't even read the physical copy, but the details of it, and then how like Jewel was all like, I'm powerful now, like staring at her bloody face with her eye gouging out. I was like, I hope I see the signs. If a bitch wants to murder me because she wants to be me, because like, what? You guys, and what makes it so insane is that people literally think this way. And that's what was getting me. See, like, talking about it, I want to give it a higher star, but I'm going to stick with 3 because, you know, I do feel like the rest of the story was a waste of time. Because, okay, yeah, this is how I feel like it was a waste of time. Forrest, Imogen's boyfriend that Jewel hated, right? Like, I feel like he didn't need to be there. Like, I feel like all the supporting characters that just proved that Imogen was, like, this person, certain type of person, I felt like they were really not needed. Because if Imogen's a certain type of person, like, I just didn't care. Like, I didn't care. Like, I just didn't understand why Imogen was so, like, why did everybody want to be her friend? And, I felt like she made a lot of good points, though. Like, when she was all talking about some, Jewel, like, you put me on this pedestal. Everybody thinks I'm this certain way. Everybody thinks I'm sunshine and flowers all the time. And, like, I'm not. And you want me to be. So, and I don't know if it was, like, because we were in Jewel's warped reality of it all. But when she was all like, Imogen, we do everything you want. Like, what are you talking about? So I couldn't really even figure out who was delusional. But I knew who the fuck was the murderer. So I knew, like, I had, like, to keep it on track. Like, I was all like, maybe Imogen is crazy. Like, in the story that Brooke was telling about, like, how Imogen goes from friend to friend and she likes attention and all that. But that's not me saying I'm on Jewel's team, because why is she murdering people? But I think that people, it's just scary. And I enjoyed it. But like the pool boy being into like gambling and like somebody like him hanging himself and Imogen cheating on him, I was like, that is way too extra. That's way too much shit to follow when you're trying to tell this story backwards. And especially backwards, but jumping around still. I don't even know. It was like, and then, I don't know. All in all, Genuine Fraud, I gave you a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed you, but I felt like you were not the strongest book I've read this month or last month. So thank you for your service, but it's time to put you away. All right, beauties, thank you for listening to my little rant review about Genuine Fraud. If you've read this book and you have any comments that you want to say about it, leave them below down in my comment section. And let me know which books I should be reading next. I already have a long, extensive list from my friends, but let me know more. I'm always looking for more. So that's it for now. I love you to bits, and I'll see you later. Bye, beauties.